In 2008, you can find Elon University on many different lists. You can find the university in the Princeton Review for having one of the most beautiful college campuses, in Newsweek magazine as the hottest college for student engagement, and in the U.S. News & World Report for being one of the nation's up-and-coming colleges. But there's another list that Elon appears on that you might not expect. The NAIA, the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics Football Championship list, twice, in 1980 and 1981. The story of how that came to be involved a small college, a young coach, and a team whose quiet confidence and brotherly bonds spurred them to victory. But those championships didn't just appear out of thin air. The era of success began with Red Wilson, who became coach in 1967.
Red Wilson took the Fightin Christians to the NAIA finals in 1973, and that team was the first in the state on any level to record 12 victories.
When Red left and later became head coach at Duke University, and he hired me, and I was looking at the team, and I was talking to Coach Wilson, and I asked him what kind of advice would he give me, and he gave me some great advice. He said, "Jerry, don't change anything." So we didn't change anything, and that first year we finished 9-2, finished number 6 in the country, did not make the playoffs. But like I said, that was one great defensive team. It was such a hard-hitting team. I actually felt sorry for and I'm serious, felt sorry for the other team a couple of times.
While Tolley may have felt sorry for the other team, as a young coach, he took no mercy on his own squad.
Was a little bit more of a dictator. I always said that players really didn't like to come to my office.
He was very knowledgeable, very disciplined, very thorough, and once we got playing for him, there was a little bit of fear as far as you didn't want to mess up for him either.
Coach Tolley taught me an important lesson in life, and it's more important to be respected than liked. Coach Tolley was tough. He was a very tough coach. He was a disciplinarian. He was very much, but he was a strategic coach as well. And he really employed the styles of today's coaching staff. He really ran the team much like a CEO would run a business. From the top to the team down, Coach Tolley was providing great leadership, great strategy, great discipline, and lots of respect among the players.
After going to the national title game in 1978, Tolley's second season, and coming up just short, a lot was expected in 1979. However, things did not turn out as the team had hoped.
In 1979, everything that could go wrong could go wrong. I mentioned Jimmy Riddle, our All-American linebacker, got hurt, missed about 6 games. Our quarterback, who was an excellent quarterback, Mike Curran, he got hurt, and it seemed like everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
But we had a tough year. We actually finished the year at a 500 record, and no one was happy with that.
And the main reason we went 5-5 was not the lack of talent. We had the lack of a mental ability to prepare ourselves.
So when we reported for training camp in 1980, things were very different. Things were much more intense. Things were very aggressive.
We rededicated everything with football players and was a little bit stricter on them. We wouldn't let them get away with anything.
So he really picked up the pace all the way around, and the thing was interesting about it is that the players did too.
But it was more than just hard work that propelled Elon to success in 1980. The team was loaded with talented players.
Of course, our great running back that year was Bobby Hedrick, who set the all-time rushing record at D-line. A lot of people would consider him the greatest running back that ever played at D-line. 4 years he started. I think he was All-American, either honorable mention or first or second team, all 4 years. When he graduated, he had picked up more football yards in a career than any other running back in the history of football other than Tony Dorsett. So he was by far the best player. We had an excellent tight end, Joey Hackett, who actually played for the Denver Broncos, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Green Bay Packers. Actually started in a couple of Super Bowls. Something else we had that year that we had never had before was a really outstanding quarterback. John Bangley was a great quarterback. He had transferred in from VMI. He had played there as a freshman, and when we brought him in, he was a great quarterback.
Our starting quarterback, John Bangley, who was one of the best quarterbacks to ever play here, was a major difference in that team.
That talent, combined with previous success, made Elon a confident, tight-knit team.
We were a very, very tight group. If it wasn't for our closeness and our toughness, we won some games that we probably shouldn't have won, but in the fourth quarter, we were confident that we were going to make that catch or stop that run or block a punt, and we won some real exciting games along the way.
We expected to win every time we went on the field. We had a great amount of confidence.
But before the rise came the fall, as the Fightin' Christians encountered early adversity.
The second game, we went to Mars Hill and played about as poorly as we could possibly play. I probably got back home around 2:30 or 3 in the morning. I remember getting in bed. My wife was saying how it went, and she said this. She said, "Jerry, are you sure you know how to coach?" and I said, "Honey," I said, "I think I do."
And indeed he did, as Elon, buoyed by John Bangley's first appearance in the third game of the season, rolled all the way to the national title game, as confident as ever, especially since the game was played at home in Burlington Memorial Stadium against Northeastern Oklahoma.
We felt that we belonged there. We felt we were ready to be there. We were well prepared, and the coaching staff made certain to humble us. The idea that we were going to not be prepared wasn't an option with the coaching staff.
Elon got the ball first, but after Phil Wren missed a field goal for the Christians, Northeastern answered with one of their own, going up 3-0. But then Bobby Hedrick went to work, showcasing what made him an All-American, and in the process, powering Elon to an early touchdown. Later in the half, Bangley scored on an option keeper, putting the Fightin' Christians up 14-3 and giving the team a commanding lead. But Northeastern soon answered with a drive and touchdown of their own, cutting Elon's advantage to 4. But Elon struck back as Bangley led the offense down the field, favoring the tight end Joey Hackett on a number of completions to put the Fightin' Christians within field goal range. Phil Wren took care of the rest, booting one through the uprights to put Elon up 17-10. Northeastern mounted a drive, but a fourth down incompletion gave the Fightin' Christians their elusive national title, and the team was able to celebrate.
It was like, finally, we did it. It was jubilation. There was a lot of hugs, kisses, crying, and can't wait to get home.
I remember all the fans coming out on the field, which was good. One of the few times that had ever happened at Elon. But it was just a great feeling. Everybody going back to the campus from here, because we always dressed in the dressing room over here, played our games. Then we go load the 2 school buses that we brought over here and take them back. And all the fans blowing their horns and everything going back to the campus. It was a great feeling. When I took over as head coach at Elon, I had a nightmare and a dream. The nightmare was that I'd never win a football game, and the dream was that we could actually win a national title.
While Tolley's dream had been realized, the team's attention turned to the defense of their title in 1981.
Going into the 81 season, there were some doubts. Our All-American running back, Bobby Hedrick, had graduated. Our tight end, Joey Hackett, who went on to play pro football, had graduated. So there were some very key people in the 1980 championship team that had left, and arguably some of our best players.
One of the things that I had told the team, I told the coaches, I said, listen, we're going to banish the name of Bobby Hedrick from this squad. I said, I don't want anybody to ever come out here in 81 after he left in 80 and say we need Bobby Hedrick.
I think there was a certain level of trepidation among the players, and I'm sure Coach Tolley was concerned as well. What are the chances of winning 2 of these national championships? But I think the team was so confident and bonded together so tightly at that point that had the ability to keep going.
And keep going they did, as Elon stormed through the regular season and the playoffs behind another stingy defense, John Bangley, and running back Fred Jordan. They found themselves back in the championship game, this time against the Pittsburgh State Gorillas, and once again at Burlington Memorial Stadium.
It was cold that day. I think the chill factor was down in the low teens. I think the first 4 times we got the ball, we fumbled it. And I think they missed a total of 5 field goals that game. And then the wind was blowing, chill factor, everything, and no one was moving the ball or like they were going to score.
But late in the third quarter, the Gorillas lined up for a punt and Elon blocked it, giving the Fighting Christians terrific field position.
I remember telling John Bangley, our quarterback, I said, John, I don't know if we can score a touchdown or not, but I said on 4th down, that ball better be dead center of the field.
And indeed it was. Perfect positioning for All-American kicker Phil Wren to knock it through the goalposts and give Elon a crucial 3-0 lead going into the 4th quarter.
I would tell them this, I said, fellas, 2 things for certain. If it goes to the 4th quarter and it's a close game, we know one thing, we're going to win it. And I said, guess what? I think the other team thinks we're going to win it too.
The confident defense took over in the final period, dominating the Gorilla offense to give Elon their 2nd straight national title, kicking off another wild celebration. The aftermath of the 81 win was similar to the 80 championship, with the consummate celebration and the press coverage. But something was different. The coach would not be back the next year.
I had to stay with the press, and everybody else had gone back to the campus. And I remember being in the press box, leaving the press box, and I remember walking the length of the field and back, all by myself. There's nobody here, just thinking about what I was going to do. And then I went back to the office, and I was in there all by myself, and I actually looked in the record book to see if anybody had won 3 straight in NAIA, and surely they had. So I said, Jerry, if you come back and win 3 in a row, then you've only tied it, and then you'll have to come back again and win 4 in a row, and what's the chances of winning 4 in a row? So at that point, after looking at the record book, I said, now's the time.
Tolley's accomplishments in his short tenure make him one of the best coaches in the history of Elon University. And later, it would earn him a place in the NAIA Hall of Fame. Today, the players and coaches are hopeful that Elon can start winning championships again.
It's a lot of fun knowing where we were and where the schools come and where the team's going. We believe Elon should be at that level of football now and forever. I mean, once you experience success, that's what you want to have happen to you.
We're right on the cusp right now of having another one of those winning eras, I think.
Perhaps Coach Tolley is right, and one day soon, Elon can once again be #1.